Whether it's a brand new wig that you just got right out of the box, or one that you've been kind of struggling with to make it feel like yours and to make it feel a little bit more natural. When I get a wig home, and I do this with all of my wigs regardless, I give them a couple of really nice shakes. I've got my Sweet Talk here in soft shades Sunkissed Beige, but I just give it some really nice shakes. I don't think that's anything revelatory, but what this will do is just kind of loosen up those fibers from all of that permatease, or if it's not permatease, it's still going to be very tightly bound to that cap. When those fibers are sewn in, whether by a machine or by hand, they're going to be really stuck to that cap, and then it lays in a box until it reaches you. Now, I caution you that if you don't plan to keep your wig, if you plan on returning it, please don't do any of these things, as you might jeopardize your return. So many people say, well, Taz, how do you get your wigs to look so wispy and the movement so natural? But honestly, all I do is I just fluff it. I usually take these back fingers here because they don't add a lot of pressure and they just sort of pick. I just sort of pick and fluff. And that, again, just brings those fibers and unbinds them from the permatease or from the cap, creates a little bit of separation, and each fiber can sort of move independently at that point, which always looks more. Here I'm wearing Sweet Talk by Gabor in the color Soft Shades Sunkissed Beige. Now this one, I chose this one for a reason, because it's been a very contentious style. So many of you love the way it looks, you love the volume, you love that wavy texture, it's just the right length, and you really want to make this work for yourself. But when you get it home, it's just overwhelming. There's a lot of permatease, there's a lot of volume here. The next step is, and again, we're going to fluff and shake. Let's assume that I've already done that. This one has been sort of a conundrum to work with. The next tip I want to give you to make your wigs look more natural is by using the heat from your hands. Again, this might not be a big revelation, but I don't want you to forget this as an option, because it really works for me. In fact, every time I put on a wig that has considerable volume, permatease, I always use this method. I use the heat from my hands to deep fluff in areas that I need to balance my volume. So I like volume on the top, but I'm not so crazy about it on the sides, especially in the temple area right above the ear. So what I'll do is I'll just take the heat from my hands, I'll get my hands under there, and I'll just tamp down and hold on the heat from my hands pressed up against the cap to the heat of my head. That's going to shrink that permatease. So already you can tell that I've sort of taken some of the poof off of the sides where I don't want it. That's one thing that you want to know what your preferences are, so that you can do these same methods on every style. Especially with wavy wigs, sometimes the fiber is coiled in a way that can help you see through here to the wig cap and things like that. And that might not be the most natural look. See, it kind of looks like a helmet, or it just doesn't look like this hair is growing from your head, does it? What I do is I pull the hair down right along the wig cap here. Pull it down just a few hairs, almost like baby hairs. Just pull a few out. Now you could always permanently steam these to fit more form-fitting to the head, or again, you could simply use the heat from your hand to press down while the other fibers here are just kind of fluffed up. But go along the perimeter of that cap here at the front, along the face, and use the heat from your hands to press down those fibers. Okay, so those fibers are going to hug the head. It's going to look like they're growing right from the head. But then you're going to fluff the other areas. So what that does, it gives you a more natural appearance from the front. So this would be just advice for those standard cap or open cap wigs. So in the case of May, when I first got May back home, I had a weave part there. That part was pressed down considerably, and you could see a nesty look right there at the part. Okay, so obviously that doesn't look very natural. So we want to go about doing something about that because I love Noriko wigs. I think their fibers are beautiful and it's a very comfortable fit. And they have some pretty cute styles. So the first thing that I would do is go about springing that part. This is called springing the part because we want to spring up the fiber away from the permatease. It'll make the permatease less obvious. So again, just taking that wide tooth comb right through that part, dig in and lift up gently. Dig in, lift up gently. What you want to do is mess up the part. So a perfectly straight part might not look the most natural, at least in my opinion. So what I like to do is just kind of mess it up a little bit. Not exactly a perfect zigzag or anything like that, but a few pieces here and there to cross over that part just to make it dirty and a little bit messy. It helps that this is a rooted style as well, a rooted color. It helps obscure some of that permatease. So once you've sprung the part and messed it up, it's just going to look more natural for you. Okay, so then what I just do naturally is I get in there and again do my fluffing in all the areas. I like a little bit of volume here on top. I like to tamp it down right above the ear at the temple. I love to make sure that those fibers around the hairline do hug the head. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of just simple ways to make your wig look more natural is, you guessed it, I do this all the time, and that is use accessories. Who would ever think that it was a wig when you do some accessorizing and some styling? So just the simplest things can make a huge difference. I mean, you've all seen all of my tips and techniques. I honestly do this in real life. It's not just for the camera. All right, so I love just to take, I'd like to devolumize the sides a little bit, pull it back, add a bit of clip, bling, whatever you would do. So if you had dream hair, the hair you've dreamt about and always wanted, what would you do with it if you had it? Make sure that you treat your wig just like you would if you had the most glorious bio hair on the planet. I do want to leave you with a couple of more tips. So in order to make your wigs look more natural and to keep them looking natural, you gotta know when you have to part with that wig. That's the biggest thing. These wigs are expensive. So you're going to get to know some maybe tips and tricks on how to extend the life of your wig. That'll be a different video someday. But what happens is when the wig is reaching the end of its natural life, and many of you seasoned wig wearers will understand this, the movement of the wig is decreased because each of these fibers is kind of roughed up through friction and wear and tear. They get stiff, they get gummy, they stick together. The movement is impeded by the degradation of those fibers. So just know when it's time to throw that wig out. You can cut it, you can steam it, you can do a variety of things to extend it, but there's going to come a day when you're going to have to bid adieu to that wig, that favorite wig of yours. It's time to replace it. So just remember that in order to make your wig look more natural, you have to keep those fibers in shape. And sometimes if that wig is towards the end of its life, it may be more obvious that it's a wig. The last thing that I want to tell you about is, I would say, and I've always said this, that 99% of how to make your wigs look more natural and how to feel comfortable in your wigs and how to be more confident in your wigs is under the cap, way under the cap. It is your attitude towards the wigs. I could wear the biggest, wildest, craziest wig out there, colorful, You know, I mean, for instance, this is my Storyville by Ellen Villa. This is a big wig. I absolutely am in love with this style. And when I go out, I have confidence when I wear it. It makes all the difference. Nobody is going to suspect that this is a wig because I'm just out there acting like myself. There's nothing fake about it. I am myself when I wear this wig or any of my other wigs. I'm going to throw this on real quick and give you a demonstration. So this is Ellen Villa's Storyville in Champagne Rooted. Okay, I've done a full review on this one already, but it's a big, curly, wild style. Now this fits my personality. It's not going to be suitable for everyone. But in order for this to make this look more natural on me, again, I do all those things, fluffing, exposing that lace front, devolumizing on the sides, but I go out with confidence, okay? So when I go out of the house, I'm just myself. I'm not thinking about my hair, so nobody else is going to be thinking about my hair. So if you carry yourself with confidence and you wear a smile and you're having fun is absolutely contagious. Your wigs are going to look more natural on you. You're going to be more confident, and you're just going to have a ton of fun doing it. There's obviously going to be some more permanent ways to make your wigs look more natural. Some of you advanced wig wearers out there with the skills can use steam, you can use heat, you can trim, you can thin, you can do all these things to modify your wigs to make them look more natural and more confident or comfortable for you. That's for another video maybe sometime.